Bane versus Rhino. One of Spider-Man's strongest and most dangerous villains is going up against one of Batman's strongest and most dangerous villains. But in a fight like this, well, who's really gonna come out on top? And honestly, is it even close? Let's get into it. Bane grew up in an awful prison in Santa Prisca, forced to live out his father's prison sentence. Every day was a struggle to survive, hardening him and forcing him to perfect both his mind and body. One day though, well, he managed to escape from prison and went out to make a name for himself. Bane. He's famous for facing off against Batman and attempting to take over Gotham City, intent on breaking Batman both physically and mentally. Bane is incredibly, superhumanly strong just on his own. Strong enough to kill grown men with just one punch, or easily wreck members of the Bat family like it's nothing. But when he starts amping himself up with venom, well, his strength only grows. In fact, the top strength limit that he's ever been reported at in DC Comics is that he can lift up to 15 tons. And even though that might be the most extreme upper limits of his strength, Bane is still more than capable of casually throwing around multi-ton objects like it's nothing. And it's not just that, Bane is routinely able to one-shot some of the toughest members of Batman's rogues gallery. He really is just that strong. He's one-shot Killer Croc, and has routinely been able to defeat Croc. He's one-shot Man-Bat. He's even one-shot Clayface. And it's not just that the venom amps up Bane's strength, it also makes him a whole heck of a lot tougher too. He just simply isn't bothered by most attacks. He's even fine after being in explosions, or being electrocuted, or fighting against fire, on top of just punches and kicks from the likes of Batman and other members of the Bat family. One time, Batman even magically gained the powers of Superman, and Bane was still able to take punches and attacks from Batman. But Bane isn't just some big, strong, mindless brute, even if some media would have you believe otherwise. No, Bane is actually incredibly intelligent. He's actually one of the smartest villains that Batman has to fight against. And Bane is one of the few who's not just been able to actually outright beat Batman, but he's also one of the few who was able to discover that Batman was in fact Bruce Wayne. Bane is a skilled and formidable fighter. He's been able to pretty much dominate Killer Croc in a lot of their fights. He's beaten Batman, Nightwing, Red Hood all quite a bit. No, really, he's beaten Batman actually quite a few times. And Bane has just rampaged through Batman's rogues gallery before and beat pretty much all of them, even including the likes of Solomon Grundy. Bane is incredibly strong, incredibly tough. He's just a force of nature out there on the battlefield. Alexei Stitchevich was just an ordinary, everyday member of the Russian mob, until he decided to undergo experimental gamma ray treatments to pay for his family to come to the US. The gamma rays gave him super speed, durability, and strength. And on top of that, he was given an armored suit with a horn to make him even more dangerous. From then on, Rhino became a super-powered thug for hire, and has fought with all sorts of different superheroes, from Spider-Man to even the Hulk. After being amped up with gamma radiation, Rhino grew to massive size and packed on hundreds of pounds of pure muscle. He started out being able to lift and move 20 tons, but after additional gamma experimentation, well, Rhino can move up to 75 tons. He can easily destroy whole buildings, he can flip over train cars, he's considerably stronger than Spider-Man, and is really one of Spider-Man's strongest villains out there. Spider-Man has even said before that he can't budge Rhino, even while he's going all out. And meanwhile, sometimes, Rhino is able to floor and knock out Spider-Man with just one or two punches. And Rhino isn't just incredibly strong, he's also ridiculously tough. And actually, a large part of that is because of his Rhino armor, too. Rhino wears a special suit that's made out of nearly indestructible material, and it really greatly increases his already impressive durability. Guns and rockets only tickle him while he's getting all shot up. Spider-Man is barely able to injure him, and Captain America bruises his knuckles trying to punch and hurt Rhino. But that's like the super low end of Rhino's durability. Rhino's been able to take attacks from Iron Man, from She-Hulk, even from Hulk and Juggernaut. His durability really is just off the charts. Rhino might not be the smartest guy out there, and he can be tricked pretty easily. But just because of his strength and durability, well, Rhino is a force of nature. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, these two have been pitted against each other a bit, and it does make sense. Batman and Spider-Man are kind of the most famous street-level heroes in comics. They're constantly being put against each other in fights, so it makes sense to take one of Batman's strongest villains, one of Spider-Man's strongest villains, and have them fight. But really, when you actually start breaking it down, well, this fight just isn't even close to being close. Rhino far outclasses Bane in every category. Like, the best that Bane has pulled off is throwing around multi-ton objects. Well, that's very impressive, especially when you're comparing him to Batman, who's just peak human. Well, it's just not even close to Rhino. Because sure, Bane can overpower Batman. Rhino can overpower Spider-Man. Rhino can pin Spider-Man down with just one hand and throw him through a whole city block, even though Spider-Man can lift up to 80 tons. And even for being that strong, Pete says that Rhino is one of the few villains that he's still scared of. That a lot of his victories come from careful prep or just sheer luck. And that's just talking about Spider-Man. Rhino's fought against bigger and better and stronger heroes than that too. Like he fought against Nova, punched Nova clean up into orbit. He's fought against the Hulk actually a few different times. He's fought against Iron Man. He's fought against Juggernaut. If the best that Bane has to offer here is fighting against Batman and Killer Croc, well, that's not going to be even enough to put him on the same level as the Rhino. Even Bane beating Solomon Grundy isn't all that impressive, just because Grundy varies so wildly in power level with each incarnation. Sometimes he's strong enough to fight against Superman, sometimes he's getting knocked out by Batman. And then there's their durability too. Rhino is just leagues and leagues tougher than Bane. Because again, the best that you're going to be saying for Bane is that he's able to take punches from like super soldier level characters. Well, Captain America can punch Rhino and only hurt himself. Spider-Man is barely even able to injure the Rhino. Rhino is able to take punches from the Juggernaut and from Iron Man and from the Hulk. We're just talking about two completely different tiers here. Now, maybe you want to say that Bane wins because he's the smarter and more skilled fighter. I'll definitely give you that Rhino is an idiot and Bane is smarter. And you know what? There are moments where Rhino's stupidity gets the better of him, and characters that definitely shouldn't be able to beat Rhino have beaten him before. Like I'm talking about Captain America or Daredevil. They've somehow beaten Rhino before. But that is so much more the exception than the rule. More often than not, Rhino is absolutely dominating against all these street level heroes. This really is just no debate and no comparison. Rhino is so much better and more powerful than Bane, it's not even funny. If Rhino can possibly fight against the Hulk, and if Spider-Man struggles to even hold his own against Rhino, well then Bane truly has no shot. This isn't even close. Rhino wins. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.